signature issue. It's the single most important reason, other than revitalizing our economy, for his election, and I believe he knows it.
It looks like President Trump is about to go live right now.
Tonight, I am speaking to you because there is a growing humanitarian and security crisis at our southern border. Every day, Customs and Border Patrol agents encounter thousands of illegal immigrants trying to enter our country. We are out of space to hold them, and we have no way to promptly return them back home to their country. America proudly welcomes millions of lawful immigrants who enrich our society and contribute to our nation. But all Americans are hurt by uncontrolled illegal migration. It strains public resources and drives down jobs and wages. Among those hardest hit are African Americans and Hispanic Americans. Our southern border is a pipeline for vast quantities of illegal drugs, including meth, heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl. Every week, 300 of our citizens are killed by heroin alone, 90% of which floods across from our southern border. More Americans will die from drugs this year than were killed in the entire Vietnam War. In the last 2 years, ICE officers made 266,000 arrests of aliens with criminal records, including those charged or convicted of 100,000 assaults, 30,000 sex crimes, and 4,000 violent killings. Over the years, thousands of Americans have been brutally killed by those who illegally entered our country, and thousands more lives will be lost if we don't act right now. This is a humanitarian crisis, a crisis of the heart, and a crisis of the soul. Last month, 20,000 migrant children were illegally brought into the United States, a dramatic increase. These children are used as human pawns by vicious coyotes and ruthless gangs. 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted on the dangerous trek up through Mexico. Women and children are the biggest victims, by far, of our broken system. This is the tragic reality of illegal immigration on our southern border. This is the cycle of human suffering that I am determined to end. My administration has presented Congress with a detailed proposal to secure the border and stop the criminal gangs, drug smugglers, and human traffickers. It's a tremendous problem. Our proposal was developed by law enforcement professionals and border agents at the Department of Homeland Security. These are the resources they have requested to properly perform their mission and keep America safe, in fact, safer than ever before. The proposal from Homeland Security includes cutting-edge technology for detecting drugs, weapons, illegal contraband, and many other things. We have requested more agents, immigration judges, and bed space to process the sharp rise in unlawful migration fueled by our very strong economy. Our plan also contains an urgent request for humanitarian assistance and medical support. Furthermore, we have asked Congress to close border security loopholes so that illegal immigrant children can be safely and humanely returned back home. Finally, as part of an overall approach to border security, law enforcement professionals have requested $5.7 billion for a physical barrier. At the request of Democrats, it will be a steel barrier rather than a concrete wall. This barrier is absolutely critical to border security. It's also what our professionals at the border want and need. This is just common sense. The border wall would very quickly pay for itself. The cost of illegal drugs exceeds $500 billion a year, vastly more than the $5.7 billion we have requested from Congress. The wall will also be paid for indirectly by the great new trade deal we have made with Mexico. Senator
All right, we're
Chuck
about
Schumer,
halfway into this.
who you will
And I've not heard the
be hearing
declaration of
from
emergency.
later tonight, has repeatedly supported a physical barrier in the past, along with many other Democrats. They changed their mind only after I was elected president. Democrats in Congress have refused to
I think it's
acknowledge
great that he
the
should
crisis.
do
And they have
national addresses to do
refused to
this, but
provide our
he's been
brave
talking
border
about the
agents
national emergency. He needs that
with
to
the
go
tools
around the
they
state behind
desperately
networks.
need to protect
And get to
our
Waldo.
families and our
See
nation.
what happens.
The federal government remains shut down for one reason, and one reason only, because Democrats will not fund border security. My administration is doing everything in our power to help those impacted by the situation. But the only solution is for Democrats to pass a spending bill that defends our borders and reopens the government. This situation could be solved in a 45-minute meeting. I have invited congressional leadership to the White House tomorrow.
Oh, here it comes. He's
to
tried. They
get
won't do it. Emergency.
this done. Hopefully,
Trump.
we can rise above partisan politics in order to support national security. Some have suggested a barrier is immoral. Then why do wealthy politicians build walls, fences, and gates around their homes? They don't build walls because they hate the people on the outside, but because they love the people on the inside. The only thing that is immoral is
so
the
your kid doesn't run the road.
politicians to do nothing and continue to allow
Or so people's
more
dog doesn't bite
innocent
your kid.
people to be so horribly victimized.
So a thief
America's
doesn't
heart
come
broke
in your
the
house.
day
No, people know
after
it. That place has
Christmas
got damn walls. I'm
when a
going to
young
go there.
police officer in California was savagely murdered in cold blood by an illegal alien who just came across the border. The life of an American hero was stolen by someone who had no right to be in our country. Day after day, precious lives are cut short by those who have violated our borders. In California, an Air Force veteran was raped, murdered, and beaten to death with a hammer by an illegal alien with a long criminal history. In Georgia, an illegal alien was recently charged with murder for killing, beheading, and dismembering his neighbor.
Illegal
In
aliens
Maryland,
create
MS-13 gang members who arrived
more
in
than
the
10
United
times
States
the crime
as
per
unaccompanied
person.
minors
It's
were
not that,
arrested
on
and
average, most
charged
illegals are
last year
Hispanics. They're criminals.
after
The percentage that is
viciously
criminal is very
stabbing
high.
and
Well,
beating
it's about
a
30% of the prison
16-year-old girl.
population is non-citizens
Over
and
the
legal
last
citizens.
several years, I've met with dozens of families whose loved ones were stolen by illegal immigration. I've held the hands of the weeping
Well,
mothers
he
and embraced
said he may declare an emergency. We're in an emergency.
grief-stricken
We've not heard this
fathers.
yet.
So
And,
sad.
you know, I trust the
So
president and everything
terrible.
else, but he needs to do that to
I
countermand
will never forget the pain in their eyes,
The Obama emergency.
the
He's to sign
tremble in their
executive order to get rid of
voices,
those.
and the sadness gripping their
He
souls.
doesn't have to call it an emergency,
How
but
much
that's what it is in
more
law.
American
Get
blood
rid of the Obama martial
must
law.
we shed
Get rid of the stay behind
before
networks.
Congress does its job? To those who refuse to compromise in the name of border security, I would ask, imagine if it was your child, your husband, or your wife whose life was so cruelly shattered and totally broken. To every member of Congress, pass a bill that ends this crisis. To every citizen, call Congress and tell them to finally, after all of these decades, secure our border. This is a choice between right and wrong,
He's not gonna
justice
declare the
and
emergency.
injustice. This is about
He
whether
thinks
we
he's gonna make
fulfill our
Congress do the
sacred
right
duty
thing, and if he can't,
to the
he'll do it.
American citizens we serve. When I took the oath of office, I swore to protect our country.
And see, if they won't do
And
it,
that
he'll
is
do
what
it. Maybe he is.
I will always do. So help me God. Thank you and good night.
So see, Zero Hedge has some of the best sources, and they said no. He was thinking about it at the last minute. He didn't. He wants to make them do the right thing, and then do it later. And you heard Roger, who's a smart guy and been one of the chief advisors of Trump, the guy that first had the wall idea, say, "Oh, I think he's going to do the right thing tonight." You heard Mike Adams say he hopes he would. I thought he would. I'm almost always right. But I've learned zero hedge. I just tell the truth here. Like, okay, zero hedge is amazing. Trump will not invoke emergency powers to build border wall and address. In fact, print me that. I read it today, but print it for me so I'm not squinting my eyes over there 30 feet away at that TV, and I'll read that. They threatened a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, economic implosion, you name it, if he did this. And I know how Trump works. I kind of predicted this before the show. I kind of figured he was going to do it. Things changed, and he says, okay, I'll see if they do the right thing, give them the chance. If they won't, he'll do the executive order. But the border, the existential threat to sovereignty, that's real. But it's the excuse for the emergency under law, because the media will spin it, to get rid of all the globalist executive orders and Obama crap. So I'm not going to give Trump a total pass. If in 30 days from now this hasn't worked out or he hasn't reversed the executive orders, I'm going to think that they have compromised Trump. Let's go to Roger Stone, former chief advisor, 40 years, friends with him, architect of the wall. We're not bragging, Roger, but that's admitted. Roger, what the hell do you make of what you just saw?
Well, I think the president is making a play here. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't at least invoke the threat at the end. In other words, he's giving Congress another chance. He's gone directly to the American people. He's hoping for a citizen uprising of public support to put enormous pressure on the Democrats. I don't think it will work. I think he will end up having no choice but to invoke his executive powers. But clearly, he has decided to hedge his bets. But he still preserves that power, and he hasn't denied that he has it. I'm a little surprised. On the other hand, I still think the administration is riddled with political insiders who are timid in their approach. And I think they keep trying to water down Trumpism. This is a dangerous moment. And I agree with you, Alex. I think that they probably leveled a number of economic and legal threats. The president surely knew that if he invoked his executive powers tonight, the Democrats would be in court tomorrow morning trying to block him, and we would go into a long standoff of legal nonsense.
Sure, but I mean, he's in his right. They've used executive power to screw the country. He's trying to save it. I'm not mad at Trump. I'm just simply saying that, yet again, zero hedge has been proven to be, I mean, we're super accurate too, but when somebody's accurate, I'll just give them credit. Because we're the ones that introduced the national emergency. We pointed out the powers of it, how they would always do it quietly to screw us over, that he should use it to empower America. And now we've seen this. I'm going back to you in a moment, Roger. Mike Adams, you have been researching the executive orders. You have been I'm not just kissing your ass, it's true, a stalwart workhorse in real research about what the president should do. Spend 5 minutes, and then we'll go to Owen and then back to Roger and then to our next guest on what you just saw. I'm not going to second guess the president. He knows things we don't know, but we're going to go to Pelosi and Schumer. Just pause their BS. They'll attack whatever he does. America existing, they hate it. We'll go to those pieces of crap in a minute, but I can't even listen to them. Let's just pause it, and we'll do it and not live, but later. Mike Adams of Natural News, go ahead.
Well, this tells me actually that Trump is planning on invoking a national emergency at some point. I think he has set up the moral argument tonight with the humanitarian angle.
Well, that's it. He's
so
now calling on the people and involving them in the fight so they have ownership of it.
And if the Democrats then fail to approve the funding necessary for this wall, next, Trump can say that the Democrats are responsible for all the deaths and all the human suffering that is happening because of this illegal immigration situation. Now, think about it. Many of the facts that Trump mentioned in his short speech tonight are facts that have been denied the American public by the dishonest media that lies and twists and withholds information that the American public needs to know. So I see this as step one in a multi-phase strategy that will end up invoking a national emergency unless the Democrats cave first.
Well, I agree with you, Mike. I think I see President Trump kind of taking the hammer up to the top rung right now, the final rung, if you will, as kind of a last, I don't know if threat is the right word, but a last, like, look, I still want to negotiate. I still want to get this done right. I still want the American people to know we're united in national security and border security and common sense. And I suspect, I mean, the Democrats are not going to go along with it. Trump knows that. He's smarter than that. I suspect in about 2 weeks, probably around like January 21st or before the end of January, if the Trump playbook holds, he will probably come out in about 2 weeks. I don't know if he'll declare a national emergency, but he'll do something either executively or legislatively to get funding for the wall and to take care of this issue. I do think he was kind of signaling that with his speech tonight. And like I said before we went live, that's kind of something Trump does. Well, he'll build up a bunch of energy, not come through in the moment, and then kind of come through later after there's a bunch of outrage from the Ann Coulters and other people. Roger?
Oh, well,
You know,
let
the
me just
only
add real quick. Sorry, but I think that what
Yeah,
he
yeah,
will
Mike,
say
make your
is
point.
they
We'll go back
left
to
me
Roger.
no choice. He'll say they left me no choice. And so he's setting up that. I didn't mean to interrupt, Roger. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, Mike, you finish your point. We'll go to Roger. We're all good here.
Well, again, he's just setting up the situation so that 2 or 3 weeks down the road, Trump can say, they left me no choice. We cannot allow this human suffering to continue. I must now invoke these emergency powers because the Democrats are refusing to protect these lives.
And I
That's
wanna
what
be
Trump
clear.
has just put into play.
Yes, and we predicted this was all coming. We've not been discredited. Now, I don't spin things. If I'm wrong about something every once in a while, I'll say it. I want to be wrong. Believe me, I wish I wasn't right. This is what needs to be done. We're not fetishizing civil emergency. We're not fetishizing the power of executive. We couldn't find the clip today, but I was at 8 a.m. lifting weights in my gym that's in my garage. And Senator Manchin is on from West Virginia, and he's a Democrat, and he's like, well, we gave the presidency these executive dictatorial powers, and if people want to reverse those, that's fine, but he has the power to do this, just like killing TPP, everything. So they, again, I'm explaining this, just like Kennedy set up NASA, just like Reagan fired the air traffic controllers, just like presidents have set up new departments and new agencies, Woodrow Wilson, the national parks. Obama set up CIA networks that we've covered in nauseum, it's public, to engage in domestic propaganda and suppression of the people. And Trump has not reversed it yet. Now, he's done a lot of stuff he said, and he's surrounded by traitors, and it comes out, they won't do, he signs an executive order, they throw it in the trash can. I mean, it's insane. And they play dumb. They go, sir, we gave that to the agency. We don't know why. He's so used to saying something and, hey, sell these condos, or hey, raise the price to this or cut the price, or hey, this golf course.
Even if it's at
we're going to
4
allow
a.m.
blacks and Jews on the golf course. I mean, this is literally the decisions he makes, or we're going to serve this type of steak. They don't follow the order. So I give him that pass. But at a certain point, I'll still give him a B+, but I'm going to start getting on his ass if he doesn't take action. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, to add to that, he also does that 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and that's why a lot of these people can't keep up with him, because he's picking up a phone at 4 a.m. saying, I need this, I need that.
He knows no one's awake. The deep state's not awake. If he launches operations at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., which I've told the whole crew, we ought to get up at 2 a.m., that's where everything gets decided.
I think President Trump looks at the situation and he's trying to build momentum right now. And for us that have been dealing with these corrupt bureaucrats and Democrats, and we know about this.
Yeah, we're way ahead of the learning curve. He's trying to get the public invested.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of Trump's angle here, is to get the public aware and more invested in that, have the fake news attack him. Because even the wall and border security polls high with Democrats. I just saw another poll today. I'm seeing polls every day. 77% of Democrats support the wall. 87% of Democrats.
That's like bulkheads on submarines?
So what are the Democrats?
Well, wait. Why do we have windows on an airplane? It's racist to not let the air in. We should go to 30,000 feet and we all die.
No, I think that we should make.
Seriously, why are there doors on airplanes?
No, I think doors should be illegal, period.
Because they've said they're immoral. I mean, you try to go to any Democrat event or Congress, or it's walls and troops and dogs and helicopters, and you go to any global, it's huge walls. My house doesn't have a wall.
Well, and
these people have these big, giant ass walls, and we're not supposed to have one.
Nancy Pelosi has a wall and a moat.
Just two walls.
A moat?
She has a little wall, then a moat, and a 10-foot fence with spikes.
She probably has radiological alligators in there too, or something crazy.
But again, it's the murdering of truth. So let's go back to Roger Stone. And guys, don't be polite here. Run for a while. That's one of her houses with a 10-foot wall. Roger and then Mike Adams. Then we're going to get the founder of Wealth Keepers on. I'm not a cheerleader for Trump. I don't get paid by Trump. I'm not invested in it. I know the globalists hate him. They've come after me like nothing I've ever seen for supporting him. And I think overall he's doing a great job. The head of the World Bank's been gotten out. The head of the World Bank's been gotten out. The Chi-Com operative, the Chi-Com 5G person's been arrested. I mean, there's no doubt we got ships cruising around in so-called Chinese waters I mean, Trump's stepping out big. Roger, gut level, you're a smart cookie. What do you now with this new intel think?
Well, I think the president may have sidestepped a trap here. You've seen a buildup in the mainstream media over the last couple of weeks. Trump is unhinged. Trump is unstable. Trump is frustrated. Trump is paranoid. Trump is angry. Trump is, and of course, I don't think any of those things are true. And I think they were prepared to pounce, and now there's nothing to pounce on. He has laid the gauntlet down one more time. He's demonstrated that he's being reasonable. It's the Democrats who are being recalcitrant. On the other hand, I've known him 40 years. There is always a point beyond which you cannot push him. And he is mindful that the deep state would love to set up a Saturday night massacre type situation in which they make a case for a 28th Amendment removal or impeachment, which I still think is very, very much on their agenda. Mike Adams and I exchanged text messages a couple of days. We really think it's all up for grabs here. The president has the power to not only save the country, but save himself. The question remains, will he use the power he has? And will the people around him be candid about what exactly that power is and how to exercise it?
And all the viewers out there, we're going to go to Mike Adams here in just a moment. This is not a normal political season. When I say Trump's real, he's for America. He believes America should be running things in America. And he's not beholden. He did fire all of the lobbyists. He did do that. So that's why they're pissed. I mean, just that. And now the fact that the Federal Reserve declared war on the economy. And just yesterday, the Federal Reserve head, after the head of the World Bank, which is part of that, that's the International Federal Reserve head. Once Trump cut one head off the Federal Reserve, the other head crapped its britches, its big boy pants, and said no more interest rates 2019. How devastating. We should have started the show with that. Ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch, oh witch, the witch, oh witch. Ding dong, the witch is dead. But seriously, I don't like bubbles. I don't like fiat stuff. But if China and everybody else has a 0% interest rate, why should we have 7 interest rates and be 5 times higher than them? It's not fair, just like Gerald Celente said yesterday. So the fact that he's got the head of the World Bank that we run fired for being a Chi-Com operative, the fact that he's got the Federal Reserve backing down, this is not some ass-kicking or ass-kissing contest for Trump. This is a reality check that, just like I wish he declared the emergency today to reverse Obama, he's introducing the idea that there is an emergency and getting us to salivate and to wait. So we're entering the Trump dimension here. Roger Stone.
The president seemed oddly subdued to me, and that's a little disturbing. He seemed to be lacking a certain spark, and I can't really explain that.
No, I'll say that. You know him well. So what he did seem to not have the Trump bravado. So what was that?
I'm not really certain what to make of it. I've seen a number of text messages here in the last few minutes from major reporters who suggest he was even slurring a little bit, although I did not notice that. He seemed to be building towards this moment all day. The buildup in the media, I thought, was appropriate. He positioned himself.
And they were palpably afraid of him being an American executive. They're scared of this moment.
No, I think, Roger, I'd like to get your take on this. I think President Trump decidedly made his delivery in this fashion tonight so that he could reach other people that say, oh, he's too brash, he's too brazen, he's too extreme.
No, I agree, but you can't reach retards.
He kind of did the NPR thing where you do the nice, subtle thing like, oh, this is what's happening.
But I've learned you can't reach these people.
I think
they want to stay poor and dumb.
Yeah, that's just what I would reason. I didn't hear him slurring, though. I didn't hear any of that.
Well, but the media watchword for the last 2 weeks has been impulsive. He's too impulsive. He's too explosive. And I think
But he shouldn't buy into that. Oh, it's impulsive. He better not do it. Whatever they say he shouldn't do, he should do. Attack! Ladies and gentlemen, the new year is here. And I personally, in the new year, am looking at all the great supplements and products at InfoWarsLife.com and saying, what do I need to take religiously that I'm forgetting to take, that lowers inflammation, that empowers all the cells in the body, that makes me healthier, better stamina, libido, energy? And it's these three babies. It's Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula with 95% curcuminoid. Nobody else can top that. Top of the line in the nation. It's X3 that has all three of the good types of iodine together, including the deep earth crystal iodine. Because some people can't absorb that type, we put a little bit of the other two types and a tiny bit of vitamin C to stabilize it. And then Super Male and Super Female Vitality. Super Male Vitality's been our overall most successful product, neck and neck with Brain Force Plus. But because it's wildcrafted and a proprietary process, we weren't able to get it for long periods of time. And so I made the decision just to discontinue it and try to reformulate. But it's been very, very hard to do. So we're not discontinuing it because it's crap. We're discontinuing it because we can't get it. It may come back in the future, but right now we're just not able to bring it. It's our last run of it. Proprietary, amazing. It's at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Body's Turmeric Formula. And it's supercharged with other key ingredients that supercharge it, bring it to the next level. And then, of course, it's the X3. It's our final run of X2. We've secured the deep earth iodine, but I thought to make a better one with all three types and the vitamin C. So get your X2, get your X3, all at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. And again, have a great New Year as we fight the globalists and restore the republic and freedom to the planet. Thank you all.